Hello, everybody. So we began our grazing program for the year, and let's just say last 3 days up until like before yesterday, I was taking a soil academy class or a understanding ag class, I guess. It was 3 days long. Lots of discussions, lots of things to talk about. So one of the goals that I came out of that class was to increase my stocking density. So this was my first try. I went from approximately 2,000 to 3,000 pounds stocking per acre stocking density in my adaptive grazing program. This is my first paddock of 30 plus thousand pounds per acre of stocking density, and I'm going to try to up it to 50,000 pounds. I'm achieving some pretty good things here. And this is a road allowance. This is a road and a ditch, and this is at the end of the 1.5 away from mile away from where my farm starts. But I wanted to use it. It's between a community pasture and a neighbor's fence, and the neighbor doesn't mind me using it while his cows are away, and his cows are not here right now. So I thought I'd graze it down. So we're achieving some pretty good trampling. Even in the crested wheat. Our grasses here in southern Saskatchewan are a lot of crested wheat in this area. Crested wheat's a very hard thing to get trample with because it stands up so much. And cows come along and they can walk on it and it just springs back up. It's not like brome grass where it gets laid over. But if there's enough of it, it does lay over. Like this is crested wheatgrass here in this, and they laid some over. So just a walk through after I've moved them out. Right now they're gone back up the road for water, and the next paddock is going to be where my truck was sitting. I'm happy with the results here. I want to push it a little bit more, but I'll be keeping an eye on it. 17 hours in approximately 2 acres for 70,000 pounds of animals, or just under 70,000 pounds of animals. So it's about 30 to 35,000 pounds of animal per acre for 17 hours. I don't think that's too bad, and I've left a lot. My solar panels are still there to start the grass up again. We've had good moisture. We had like 7/10 in the last couple days of rain. So, you know, it's definitely got the potential to do a regrow. They're not, the grass is not overdone. Maybe I could have taken a little less, but last night when I was here just before dark, they hadn't taken enough to what I was happy with, and they hadn't trampled enough to what I was happy with. So I guess I thought I'd leave it and see what it looked like in the morning, and I come out here about 8:30 this morning, and this is what it looked like. So I opened the south end and I let them go. There's a fairly stark line where the fence was, as you can see. So they took a bunch. I'm happy with that. Happy. The cows looked good. They weren't by any means empty this morning. Of course, as soon as you show up, they start bawling. But they were not empty. The manure pats, to me, look like they're in a good consistency, feel free to throw your 2 cents in on that or anything else. Send me some comments and like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna obviously I'm doing this for my YouTube channel because, for one, I can't send this big of a file as messages to my friends, so I send them a link to the YouTube, and then they can watch it clearly. Because if you send a file, you got to shrink it, and then when you shrink it, and it goes through very crappy, it's all grainy. So that's how I do it. I put it on my YouTube channel, and I link it to people that are interested in what I'm doing. So like this grass here, this is community pasture next to me. So right about this line right here is community pasture land. They're in about 16 feet on their property line, so that they would, when they set it up so that they would never have to move their fence. So this is the same seeding practice as that, because it was seeded and then the fence was put in back in the 50s, or yeah, late 40s, early 50s. My dad was actually on the board of that first community pasture thing, and he told me all about how they did it. So this line here is their grass. That's what they seeded. And on that side, there hasn't been any cows in there yet this year. I don't want to toot my horn, but I think I've just about left more grass than they have, due to poor management practices. They leave them cows in there too long. Graze pretty much at the same time on every paddock every year. They never change it. They never. There's also a line here along the edge where they sprayed some leafy spurge, and I'm not sure if it shows up on the camera, but you can sure see it in real life. How the grass is stunted. They love to use chemical, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but maybe spot spraying wouldn't be bad, because you don't see too much on this side. And yes, the RM has spot sprayed on this road allowance and on this area, but they haven't done that. They haven't done continuous. And as you look out there, you can see a pattern of where they've just continuously sprayed the area where the leafy spurge was. And I don't know if you noticed, but you can still see leafy spurge. So they got to come back, do it again. I'm sure by the time they do that again continuously, it will be in pretty tough shape. So this is all crested wheat here, or a very high portion of it is crested wheat, and this is probably where the cows were laying overnight and whatnot. But pretty good smash down here. Happy with that. Yeah, the manure pats, that one looks maybe a little bit dry, but see, I'm not watering them down here. We had the rain and it was wet yesterday, so I moved them down to the far end and I locked them in, and there's lots of water in the grass so, when it's in that condition. So then this morning I let them back to go water, and I thought, man, they're going to go straight to the water. They didn't. They ran about halfway up the road and started grazing, because we had about a half an hour or an hour before I got out here. I was driving through when I walked outside my house at 7:30 or 7 o'clock, it was misty and very heavy dew. So that grass was full of moisture. So they just put their heads down and started grazing again. They're nicely just going to water now. And it's 11:44, and it was about 8:30 when I opened the gate here. To let them up to go for water. And they can graze on their way up. I don't really care. This isn't really my land. I guess I'm treating it like it's not my land. I'm just using it. So they can graze on the way back. I let them all go for water. Then I chase them back into the area where I want them. Lock them in to that tight area for however long I think it takes. Weed control. We have some leafy spurge, as you can see, on this side. And I know for a fact that before I put the cows in here, like there's some spurge there. They've ate some of it. They've broke it down and trampled some of it. I'm not saying you're going to get it all, but there's some more over here right on the line. I'll show you what they've done over here. So there's basically where they didn't have access to. There's a broken plant, kind of smunched over. That one's still standing. That one's broken. Those are kind of stepped over, but I don't think they're broken off. There's some young ones over here. This one here is crunched over. These two are still standing. So there's some crunched over in that right there. So you do get that impact. That one's crunched over. That one's still standing. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's not. But it helps. So that's the first graze of my higher intensity, and I will keep you updated. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification button if you want to get more notification on when we do new videos. I do worm videos, like for worm castings. I do we're supposed to do some worm tea, but I couldn't get my equipment, so we're skipping right to the grazing until I can get set up. I guess that might just have to be next year. Do the odd review of new products when I get them in, and yeah, if you like what we're doing, subscribe and share and enjoy.